All right, this is Misael Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, coming at you once again with another episode of Raw Talk. Today we have a special guest. She's a very fine musician. Uh, she's trained, beautiful voice, and she also has a great love for African culture. Her name is Estelle California. Greetings, Estelle. How are you today?
Hi, good to
Good,
be with you tonight.
good. It's tremendous to have this going on and to see the plight of your success. You've been getting like a lot of news coverage on your latest album, your singles, and it's really been a nice growing grassroots movement. And I think we had met, I had got your information. Wow, I think that was still a mystery, but I got your information and was able to do a write up. And I said, wow, this person, what is this going on? They have songs like Black is the True Light and things of that nature. So before we get into what's going on currently, I like to ask that you introduce yourself to our audience and just say hi and, however, whatever comes to mind is good. But I think originally, to kind of get it a little bit more in the focus, um, how did you get involved in music? What was that for you? How did that come about?
Well, um, I've been trained very early. I've been trained. I began the piano classical when I was 5,
Hmm.
but there are videos of me when I was, I think, like 15 months old in diapers. I was singing with a mic.
Wow.
So I think it's an old destiny. You see what I mean? Then it
Mm.
took some journey to get where I am now. But yeah, it was obvious from a long time.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And so I would imagine learning music that young, did you have the backing of your family or parents, or how did that work out?
No, in France, in Europe, in France, you learn a classical piano or music or violin,
Hmm.
but it's not to make a job of it.
Oh, I see. I
It's
see.
just
So, I mean,
you see what I mean, to be like I did some ballet classes for
mm,
dancing. That's just the way you are raised.
mm. Ça va bien. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, très bien. So that's I see that's like part of the educational background of people growing up in France. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not it's very common.
yeah. I had well, I know a lot about French culture, speak French or whatever, but I had kind of in the past, I would say 5 or 6 years, I would say even more than that, maybe 10 years or plus. I just haven't really been around it. So sometimes you lose a little bit of insight on things and stuff like that. But that's excellent. Um, what made you decide to pursue music more of a career, being that you're from a background where there's a lot of music education, but people may not necessarily choose music as a career.
I did not have to say um, it's more like music came back to me each time,
Hmm.
like and so many times. Like when I was 14,
Hmm.
there is a teacher of piano who told my mom I should do professional
Hmm.
classical pianist, and I should begin to work more to do that. And my mom said, no, that's not going to happen.
Oh, wow.
That was the
Wow.
first time. Then there is a singing teacher that came to me. I think no, before there was a saxophone teacher that
Hmm.
came to me and said, you should do a professional career.
Hmm.
And I did the school professional, but then I didn't like to be with all that guys. It was a bit weird French place. And then I had an opera coach, the coach of Maya Callas, that came to me and that said, you should do something professional. But in my family, it was so not allowed, so not
Yeah.
possible, you see. It was like, um, I think when I was very young, I would say I want to be a singer. I was saying singer or hairdresser. And
Hmm.
for my parents, it was the same silliness. They would never not even listen to me. So it
Hmm.
took me a long time that people would come to me and I would think, no, you see, it's not possible. And so, but when I came here, but I was writing too in the same time also.
Hmm.
And when I came here in California, I also I could do everything. I could put my lyrics to my music and sing it and play on piano. It was like I had all the keys, but I did not put them together before.
I see. I see. So you were trying to get into being a hairstylist,
I
and
love
music kept
hair.
following you around, right?
Still, do you know, I think the things you like when you look at your kids and you try to look at them not the way you want them to be, but the way they are. I
Hmm.
had everything already. I liked animals. I love them still.
Hmm.
I was obsessed with justice and fairness. I
Hmm.
would say all the time it's not fair, and people would make fun of me. But look at who I am now. I sing about justice and fairness,
Right.
and I play my piano and I sing my music, and I have all of the farm in my backyard. That's what you see.
Yeah, I think those things are sort of like trials to becoming who you are. You know what I'm saying? I've heard, you know, um, people grow up in families, and who knows what their background is as far as the relationship with the musical arts, but pretty much a lot of people root just for the practicality, get something practical like become a plumber or something like that. Don't really, the art thing, people have a cap on it. But what they don't realize is that an artist is not an artist based on the drive for material value, but it's a part of them that they have to express, like any other sort of preference that exists today in the world. Artists have to create, otherwise they will feel like they're in prison. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really interesting sort of life because you do have to make a living, right? And you try to see how far your art can stretch against the world. Fortunately, in the computer age, uh, a lot of things are possible. It's not really that difficult on a lot of levels as it was years ago. So that's a beautiful thing. It's funny you mentioned that because I was looking at an interview with Ringo Starr, the drummer for the Beatles, and he I think when he was before he joined the group, he was thinking about becoming a hairdresser. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting how people can evolve from whatever it is that they're involved in, and how life just grabs them and places them where life needs them best. You know what I'm saying? So that's really amazing. Um, how was it your transition from France to the United States? So I imagine that your work, as an artist, because we're just hearing about Estelle, California. We see the singles, the videos, but it seems relatively recent. It's not like I can go back to like 2010 and pull up an Estelle record cover, right? So I would imagine that this explosion into the music world is a recent thing. So, what was it in France that you like? Did you feel more comfortable recording in the United States, or was it part of like when you were coming here? This was part of the transition with the aim of being a recording artist. How did that all work out for you?
Because in France, I didn't have the freedom in my mind
Hmm.
to be free to be who I was.
Hmm.
So I would not allow myself um, to create everything. I would write, but I would not compose on the piano, for example. I
Hmm.
would not. I would improvise. I think for me, when you create, you have to be free of all the rules, expectation. You just let it come, channel through you, and then you have to be. It's a big freedom. If you just keep judging yourself and expecting things, then nothing is gonna come to me, at least. And also in classical, you just write what is written. You don't create new things.
Hmm.
So when I came here, I did put everything together. That's why I
Hmm.
said the voice, the creativity, the piano, the lyrics. But in France, I was singing like jazz and Argentinian music, and I was writing and I was playing the classical piano and the saxophone, but I was not putting all together. You see
I
what I mean?
see. Yeah, I see. That's good. I mean, well, you're speaking to a jazz composer, so I have a soft spot for jazz in my heart. That sort of thing. But I noticed that in your musical expression, even here, when you were putting, the album together, I see you working with a team of musicians, of people who are mature and seem like they have quite a bit of musical veteranship under their belt. So how did that work? Because I know a lot of people who are looking at this interview, they're probably going to check out a couple of videos or whatever. Maybe I might even try to edit in some videos after we do the interview. But how did that work? How did you meet the Estelle California band? How did that happen?
Well, I met a producer first,
Mm-hmm.
Madam Michael Walden, who's a big producer who's been producing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He heard the Black Is It True Light song right away. He loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And we begin to work like the next day, and we've been doing the 5 songs like in the next days.
Wow.
And he had amazing musicians. And I've been bringing myself the Alvin Johnson, the blues guitarist I knew before here.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bay Area is a very small, a narrow place, like
Right.
everybody knows everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I was going out for a long time dancing and listening to music for a long time, so I knew them already.
I see. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
kind of clicked, and everybody just fell into place as you were pursuing the dream. You were making the reality of things coming to life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this song, because that's how I knew you as a person. Is I saw this record cover, Black is the True Light, and at first I thought it was like maybe an X Clan album or something, right? And then uh, I looked and I said, "Wow, this lady. I don't think she's from the U.S. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing." But it seemed a little bit interesting. So first, before I even go into that, how did this love for Africa evolve?
Well, I think it's love for all the Black people, and I think we need that today.
Hmm.
Today, I mean, it's not especially, but just we need that so bad.
Yeah.
God, um, yeah, I think it's all the discriminated people. Since I
Hmm.
was a kid, I knew I was on their side, and I knew it was not fair, and I knew I would fight for it.
Hmm.
And also, I would feel, I don't, how can I say that? I would know I would belong in this side. I would not
Hmm.
be in the mistreated people, but I would be in the mistreated people. You see what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right.
And in France, it's very, very racist.
Hmm.
I mean, people would say they're not racist, right? But they would still say statements that are deeply racist. But they would not even understand it's racist to say this
Right.
kind of things.
Right. Right. Right.
So I know all of that world,
Hmm.
and I could know when I was a kid it was not true, it was not right. It could be another way to live. And that's
Hmm.
why when I came here in Auckland and I've seen this world with no prejudice at all, I was, oh, it does work somewhere in the world. It is
Hmm.
here. It happens.
Hmm.
Here you can be whoever you want, whatever, anything, like a
Yeah.
trans,
Yeah.
a woman in a short skirt,
Hmm.
any color. You see, nothing is going to change. The people are going to look at you like everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's a very big privilege to live here. That's why I came here, because it was so important to me.
Mm.
Um, but also, so in France and Africa are very close.
Mhm.
So people don't realize that it's very close culture. Like French people would not like me to say that, but I mean, in the place where I grew up in south of France when I was a kid,
Mhm.
you have like 45% of North African.
Mhm.
It's just to give you an idea of the numbers. So I mean, it's
Kind of
part of my culture
influential.
in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's influential. I guess the cultures feeding each other, and people with different backgrounds get to know one culture to another, like that sort of thing, right?
Well, most of the people are against it,
Hmm.
but I was not. I was embracing it.
I see. I
So
see.
I really, and then I went to Africa many times, and I loved it. It's a long, it's
Journey.
yeah. And then I came here, and I met the Black community, and it was so beautiful, and I love the blues with them, all the music, and
Hmm.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of recent events that dictate that people have a long way to go as far as terms of equality and things of that
I
nature.
think it is so deep in the subconscious.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely laid out deep because on both sides of the coin, there's this statement of doubt because people may feel they don't know how to act because of inferiority, and on the other side of the coin, people don't know how to react because they don't want to be a racist. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just getting to know each other, I think that's what the solution to that would be. Because you can't be not something and not encounter that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was studying, like people know me study esotericism, right? It's an old saying in Taoism, like if you want to become enlightened, stay away from monasteries because in order for you to see where you at, you have to be in day-to-day life. And so I think for people who I don't think it's objectively aimed like you have to switch your lifestyle around, but for people who may have problems and racial issues, uh, either denial can come in their mind, but how do they react when they're confronted with people of different cultures? See, that's the thing. So I think that your example of being able to uh, kind of stay clear from negative views, of different cultures and to really appreciate the beauty that exists within the hearts and the arts and culture of oppressed peoples is a remarkable thing and a testimony to how art can transcend some of the negative institutions that we have in our society today. You probably would agree that art, whether it was like John Lennon or Bob Marley, whatever, art was always used. Fela Kuti is always used to transcend the negativity and to raise the awareness of people who were brave enough to put their pen to pad and create some beautiful melodies uh, to help encourage people to grow in a non-intrusive way. You know what I'm saying? So the gift that you
Well,
have,
I wish I could be more intrusive.
yeah.
I wish I could be. 2 days ago on Tuesday, I've been singing live the song
Hmm.
Like It's Right on My Piano for the Japan conference in Africa.
Hmm.
Japan, the Pan Africa.
Yes, yes,
They
yes,
had a
yes.
big conference for 2 days, and
Hmm.
I've been singing my song, and that was my Super Bowl. I was so proud, so
Wow.
honored, so grateful, so humble to sing this song. God, they deserve it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Now, how did your work evolve? If I'm not mistaken, Black is the True Light, that was your first single from the
That was my
current
second singer.
second single. What was the first single that you had?
Star.
Yes, Star, Star. Okay, okay, because I got it reversed. I had heard Black is the True Light first, and then Star. Yeah, that's a beautiful song as well. Tell us a little bit about Star and what was the inspiration behind that.
Star is the mother of all my songs, all my vocation, all my life. I think it's my biggest teacher. So
Hmm.
the songs, there is no inspiration. I would say I just
Hmm.
received them like in 5 minutes the lyrics, and then they are teaching me. They are showing me the way. They are teaching me. They are leading me. They are shaping me. They are healing me. It's amazing. And Star, it's a declaration of identity. First of all, it's an anthem to freedom. This is where it's come from, the title of the album, My Name is Freedom. And it is announcing all my life tasks to
Wow.
speak for the voiceless souls, to denounce the unspoken violences, the unspoken injustice. It is an amazing, it's magical song.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. Very
I mean,
brilliant.
when I lose myself, I go, it's for all the victims.
Hmm.
I go back to there and I know my name. The slave had no name but one of their owners.
Right,
Your
right.
identity, your name is so important. And I begin
Yeah,
with, I know my name, nobody's going to make me forget
yeah.
because I know my name now. My name is Freedom.
Mm.
And that's a magical statement. I mean, I could not have write it by will. It just came to me and I was, oh, thank you.
Wow, wow. How did the album evolve? My Name is Freedom. That's a very stirring title.
How the album evolved?
Yes, like how many, like since, because the album's out now, so I'm sure you'll let our viewers know about the album, how many tracks are on it, how did it evolve into becoming not just a couple of singles, but to becoming like a full project.
Oh, well, it's a journey. So you begin by the anthem to freedom, where
Hmm.
you release the anger and you dance and you just get very high.
Hmm.
Then you go on Who Are You, which is a very high blues that I love so much. And the lyrics are about a spiritual quest
Hmm.
that I wrote that when I was reading Saint Germain, the I am discourses about the soul, the I am discourse that I am who I am.
Hmm.
Um, and so it is about getting to know, to find who you are beyond what you think you are, beyond your story, your culture, your imprinting, your family, your color, everything. And when you find this place in the soul that is way more true than all what the stories around.
Yeah.
So that is a beautiful song. And then you have Black is a True Light, of course, my
Hmm.
biggest, most precious baby song.
Hmm.
Then you have The Land of Freedom, which is on the radio now, which is very good actually on the radio and all the charts. This is an anthem for my America, not the one of Trump for sure. The America of United Nations, of immigrants that we are. I mean, when I got my citizenship, I was crying. It was so beautiful, and the speech we had from the lady here in California, in Berkeley, in California, in Oakland actually, was so beautiful. She said that we have to keep all our differences, and we have the same rights today as all the Americans here from generations. We are Americans, all of us, and what makes America America is this immigration. We
Right.
are all immigrants.
Right.
And I was crying, crying. It was so beautiful. I was crying more than anybody in the room.
Wow.
Uh, so that's my anthem. That's The Land of Freedom.
Mm.
And then you have the grateful song, which is at the end of the journey when you had all the hardship and you learn your lessons and you had the healing journey and the pain and all of that. But you did a bit of spiritual work too.
Mhm.
Then you understand that the hardship was a gift because it made you who you are, and without it you would not be who you are. And it's also what you have to give back. It's the resilience. It's what Black people have huge load of. South African, Mandela, Martin Luther King, all of these people have resilience, and this is the light. Black is right is about the resilience. So the gratitude is about this. It's about the light that you can spread out of the darkness you had to go through, and then you can say at the end that you are grateful for all what you had to go through.
Right, right, right. It's amazing body of work. Now, when you how did you approach making that? Was you just doing songs and it just came together, or was it something like maybe after you cut a few singles, you said, you know what, I need a song for this, I need a song for that. Like, and yeah, how did that work itself out for
I
you?
mean, the songs together.
Yeah, like how did you um because when I heard the album, I thought of it as a conception, right? Because of the title, My Name is Freedom. So
Yeah.
I thought of it like someone having a journey into freedom, and then listening to you in the interview. You mentioned that when you were in France, you felt a little bit more restricted, and then coming here, so did you see any parallels between what you were experiencing and
Of course.
maybe some of the imaginings of what oppressed people may experience who couldn't really let themselves
Yeah, yeah,
be
that's
who
why you
they
begin
are?
by star, but it's huge. Um, how to say, I have the firework of energy, like
Mhm.
when you just explode because you have been enclosed all the time, and you can have this freedom, and you want to scream, and you want to scream for freedom, and that's the energy of it. And
Mhm.
you do the whole journey, and at the end you get grateful. You are more grounded. You are thankful for what the bad that happened to you, and you understand why, and you want to serve. It's a journey of energy. You see how you enter and how you get out of it. It's very different. But
I know
it's not on purpose, it's more like I think the soul in me is very powerful and stubborn and very she knows what she wants and she's doing it. And so
Okay.
I've been led by something to do all of that. It's amazing. I did not choose really, but it was just obvious. And the songs, like I received the music, and then I asked for what this music is, which lyrics, and oops, I got the answer, and I put them together, and it's working. It's magical.
Mm, mm. Well, I definitely can say that it's a very sophisticated sound, but it's also very simplistic in being straightforward about some of the messages, things of that nature. And there's also an underlining spiritual aesthetic across everything, so you seem to have something for everybody, for someone who's just a working person who's just questioning life, someone who's an activist, and also someone who's looking into the world beyond for answers. You know what I'm saying? So I have to really sit down and really, you know, score a full review on the album. But I remember uh, hearing Black is the True Light and a couple of a couple of reading about some of your music at that time, and then doing the review, and then doing a written interview, because we had did a written interview on the page that I'm gonna try to, well, this will be on YouTube, so I'm gonna post a link of that and your website under the YouTube link. But also a lot of times, because the way YouTube has been acting, I like to also post the videos on the memory I have on my website. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like gauge that in there too. But in the written interview, I got to see a lot more of your person, and just some of the spiritual concepts that go into your songwriting. It's like how you receive a tune and things of that nature. Um, how is the spiritual process influencing your music, the spiritual process that you have? How does that influence your music? Is it something that is inseparable from the creation of your music? Do you draw some influences from maybe some spiritual paradigm that kind of brings you to a place of solace, which later influences your ability to create epic songs? How does that work out for you?
Well, it's an amazing question, I have to say. I'm going to think about it more.
Mhm.
Um, well, my music is not my music in a way,
Mhm.
first. First, in a way that it's not I have my life and my music, or it's my career. It's not my career. It's like all my life, like all my journey. It's
Mhm.
not I'm creating music and then it's like all my 40 years on this planet, I've been to fed this music in a way. Like everything that happened to me,
Mhm.
this music is the fruit of everything. You see what I mean? It's
Yes. Yeah.
like a huge accomplishment of these 40 years. It's like there is nothing on the side, and I'm this way. I'm whole, I'm passionate, so everything is all together. And the spirituality is also in everything. Yeah, and also this music is not mine, because I think it's not my small self doing something. I think it
Mhm.
really comes to me, and it's way bigger than me. Like
Mhm.
me, I mean, naturally, I've been raised to be self-deprecative,
Mhm.
so I am more like sharing myself and shy and all of that.
Mhm.
And when I received the star song, my
Mhm.
name is freedom, my name is revenge, my name is song of justice and forever is, I was, who am I to sing these words? Like for 3 years, I was asking God, but why me? Why these words? Why I have to stand up with these words?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to hide behind the couch, right?
Mhm.
But when I come on stage, when I sing with my piano live, there is something huge coming in me, and it's so powerful. But it's not
Wow.
it's not
Wow.
my small self, and so it's for me the dichotomy is so big that it's very easy to see the difference between the soul or a higher, anything you want to call, and the small Estelle of every day, who's good with dogs, with kids. But I mean, it's a different. When I dance, also I give up my energy. So, and the spiritual journey is, I mean, I've been healing me is part of everything. There is nothing. I've been healing in so many ways. I did so many things, but the spiritual journey has been healing me more than everything. The big
Mhm.
picture, the cycle of the soul, the cycle of the life, to know that you have the young soul, the old soul. I mean, that makes more sense to me than many things before.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you don't belong to your family. You can just come here to have your lesson, then you can just move somewhere else and meet people you feel way better with. That actually life does not have to be the way you have been taught to. You can
Mm.
create your own truth, your own um, meanings. Anyway, so it is, you see what I mean? It's just everything is part of it.
Yeah.
I could separate the spirituality, the music, the my life, the my journey, is just all up together.
Hmm. Yeah. Wow. So I guess the music is definitely uh, help you appreciate certain spiritual values that have been going on, whatever. So that's really been great, and I think people can hear that in the songs that you have uh, on the album, and the spirited vocal performances that you take the listener on. You know, it's like a true journey. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, you know, when I first heard your sound, um, the first image I had in my mind was that this person on a large stage. You know what I'm saying? This person, you know, someone of magnitude, a definite musical force that will come to the fore based on the information that they have to present in song, and just the talent and the care given into the music itself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big thing, because a lot of times uh, I'm a musician, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times I noticed that one of the biggest things that helped me in my musical development was actually reviewing music. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear so much different stuff, and you know, you got to write about stuff. It helped me as a writer too, but musically, definitely, because I was listening to a lot of things, a lot of structure, you know, how measures are layered. You know, there's different things that I knew before, but to hear different executions of different genres. So usually when I hear something, I know whether it's going to go, it has the potential to go, or it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Just because of, and a lot of this, then to be honest with you, 99% of the stuff get sounds good. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that there's a certain sort of energy. And I think with your sound, it's very original and it's sincere. Where a lot of times, and I think the just from my own personal opinion, you know, this is just what I see, you know, from your work, that even in the title of the album, what I get is not only a expression of freedom from the journey that you took from France, United States, and how this is synced with people's journey who are oppressed and trying to become free, but also in the fact that you're moving from a period of, like you mentioned, in classical music, that a lot of things are not invented, to taking full creative control. You see what I'm saying? And because of that process, a lot of times when I hear music, it could, a lot of it is original. But the thing about it is, it's also imitative. So they're making a song because they don't, you know, they want to make sure they have, you know, the three verses, the little break, and it's cut because they're trying to, you know, make it sound company ready instead of just putting the music out. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want to have it on certain levels, you know, certain acoustic levels, things. You want to make the professionality of it doesn't have to be the cookie cut. It's just, you know, taking it to the level that you see best. And that's what we hear when we hear Estelle California, someone who's going to give you 100% in her music, and she's going to give you something that's sincere. You know, it's unfortunate that the music industry has been a lot in decline over the past couple of years, but the good thing is that artists can easier, you know, they can get their sound out a little bit easier, uh, and make it available to people. So I just wanted to ask you just a couple of questions, because I know you had a long day. and that's, you know,
It's every day.
yeah, your work ethic is amazing. Uh, being a mom and uh, um, trying to get your career on, and also being in a different country, and just so many dynamics to um, how you keep the insanity sane is truly amazing. But I did want to sum up things and asking, what can we expect? I mean, the country's been in shutdown, for a while. So I'm sure a lot of your fans want to know, what have you been doing during this time? What you plan on doing in the future? Where is Estelle California going to be going uh, next?
Well, let me know if you find out. Um, well, actually, I do not know everything, right? I do not know many things.
Hmm.
Um, I think I released my album like maybe 1 month and a half before the lockdown. So
Hmm.
I was just like getting close to all my dreams.
Hmm.
I had a tour plan with an amazing caritative organization
Hmm.
that would tour all America, Europe, Africa. I was so excited about this.
Hmm.
I mean, all got cancelled, right? And then we don't know for how long. So I spent like 1 month, and also I got to be with my daughter full time,
Oh, great.
which I was very scared of that, I think. So
Mm.
I've been fasting for 1 month, fasting, depressed, complaining, and then I stopped. I
Hmm.
understood it would be lessons for me, and actually I embraced them, and I loved it.
Oh,
I got
great.
to be closer to my daughter better than ever. We're building a farm, we're
Hmm.
gardening, we have chickens now. So that's what I've been doing. Oh,
Wow.
I've been publishing a book too. I published a book like maybe 2 weeks ago, right? A book half French, half English, about
Really?
like, yeah, lyrics I was writing in France before,
Hmm.
because it's hard to play with my daughter next to me all the time. So at least I could write.
Hmm.
So that I did publish this book, and then I had this amazing opportunity to sing for Africa 2 days ago, and I was, thank God. Now,
Wow.
I think with the lockdown, what really matters pops up, and what didn't really matter disappear.
Hmm.
So all this fame thing, this radio, this campaign, that all disappeared, and actually that's okay. But what matters to me, the Africa, the Black people, let's come back, and this thing is the most beautiful thing that could happen to me.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I hope I will not give up on that dream, that I will go to Africa with my music, with their music, cheering up on them and loving them and showing their beauty, their glory. That I will not give up on this dream.
Hmm.
The other one, well, I am open. If I need to be a farmer, I will. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I think the music is very strong in me. And as I told you at the beginning, you see, each time teachers would come to me and say you have to be there, and then it would not happen. I think it's gonna happen because it's just I'm born to do that. So I don't know how, I don't know when, but I think I'm trusting now. When I
Oh.
stop pressing, I have begun to trust, and now I don't know how, but I'm trusting more than before. Yeah, I'm less in control. I'm not controlling anything as before, but I feel better.
Mm. Well, you seem, ever since I know you, was a very exceptional person, and very reputable uh, lady. But I imagine now, since doing the album and just in even trying to get this interview together, I noticed that your work ethic has always been uh, very industrious. But I've noticed that you seem to be more capable of taking chance and making it into a reality that conforms to what you would like to see accomplished, right? And then I guess that's, a lot in and just really understanding that you don't necessarily have to punch in to really get paid at the end of the week, like, a lack of a better word, sort of thing. So I think that's great. And it's very much an encouraging example for a lot of inspiring artists and just people across the board who are just trying to make their dreams come true. So I think that you shine as an excellent example in that category. Is there any? What would you say? There's one question I do want to ask is what advice would you give to someone who's looking to make a career out of music?
Well, I have no idea because it didn't come to me this way.
Hmm.
But I would say that to not, I do not know. Actually, I think there is no rules, right? There are people who are happy to. We are all different. We all have a different journey.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I didn't. How can I say? For me, spirituality is everything. Like
Hmm.
it helped me to do everything. For me, if I do things with will, it doesn't work. I have to be connected, to be grounded, to be aligned, and then things are coming to me. But if I just run and go grab people and grab things, that it doesn't come to me.
I see.
So it's not about for me success or this kind of thing. And also, maybe there are young artists who are fine to do whatever, but I know for me, it was important to believe that I had to stay whole, to not
Hmm.
give up on who I was. And I mean, the point is not to be successful or rich or famous. The point is just to stay aligned with my calling, my social engagements, my commitment, my activism, my spirituality. This is more important. If I would not do music, I would still serve Black people. I do it. I volunteer, I feed them. This is more important than the music. You see, music is my way of expression. It's in my energy, my body of dancing and of music.
Hmm.
But the connection to what matters to me is more important.
I
I would
see.
not begin to song. I had an interview at the beginning with an amazing guy on the radio,
Hmm.
and I was amazed because somebody, we were three on the line, and somebody asked me if I would do a song, like a commercial song for 1 million.
Hmm.
And I could not say no, but I could not say yes, because it's not, I would not do that.
Yeah.
And the guy said she is not answering, but it's not her. What she would do it if you would give the 1 million to the Black people, then she would do it. That's
Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
If I would help my people or to serve the one who needs, I would do it, but I would not do it for me to get fatter. You see what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right. I
yeah,
see. Truly,
I need to
self,
serve. Yeah.
yes, yeah, selfless and a very altruistic effort, and that's kind of what's needed in today's music world, just to even keep the integrity of sound alive. I mean, that's the politics behind things, and how music can change a social climate is a whole other conversation. But just even to keep the integrity of music pure, um, we need more people like yourself who just look at the music as an instrument to better serve society, because that's really what music is for, right? So I know you had a long day and you want to try to.
Fine, I would like to be yawning, but I'm fine. It's just like now I work like with my body harder than before now. Now
Yeah.
I have a kid full time and the animals in the backyard. Before I did not do that. Before I was less exhausted before.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's been a full plate for you, but I'm so grateful to have you on the program, and I mean, I wish you all the best success, and I'm sure we'll have you on here again soon, and there's a couple of things I'm going to plug about the album in a written review shortly, when I really get a chance to, sit down, and listen to it from the light of even some of this interview. But if you're out there and you're watching this, definitely Google Estelle California. She's a beautiful artist. She's a beautiful woman. She definitely has it going on. She has a love for people. She has a love for African people, love for Black people. She has a love for Native American people. She has a love for Irish people too.
God
So
bless you.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she's a beautiful soul, and her music is very motivating and spirited, and it really fits into the niche of the postmodern era. So if you get a chance to check her out, get out there and do it. This is Misael Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, coming at you with another episode of Raw Talk, and we're going to shut this down right now. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.